Nissan's little Juke crossover takes its first step into the electrified era with this hybrid variant. Compared to the ordinary version, you get both more power and greater efficiency, though with a considerably higher price tag.
The numbers here certainly deserve a second glance. 20% better fuel economy, 25% more power, and all of it controlled by 3 hybrid drive modes and 6 gears, 4 for the engine and 2 for the EV system. Nissan says the whole confection is its own, but actually the Juke hybrid drivetrain is basically the same one that Renault uses in the Clio, the Captur and the Arcana, albeit with changes made to the 1.6-litre petrol engine, which here develops 93 brake horsepower, and the setup's electric motor here putting out 48 brake horsepower and working with a 20 brake horsepower starter generator. Total system output is 141 brake horsepower. As with Renault, the e-motor is mounted within a 4-speed multimodal auto gearbox which manages both power sources. What we haven't seen before on any Renault is this Nissan's e-pedal function, which increases regenerative braking right to the point where the car can slow down to 5 miles an hour when you come off the throttle. It also improves water cooling for the compact 1.2 kilowatt-hour battery, which always powers the car from start off and which can take you to 34 miles an hour without troubling fossil fuel. Once you crest the EV speed barrier, the powertrain switches into series hybrid mode, where the engine charges the battery. That's great for urban driving. And at high speeds or under heavy acceleration, the whole setup reverts to parallel mode, in which both the e-motor and the engine drive the wheels. Nissan has had to tweak the springs and dampers to accommodate the hybrid system's extra 100 kilos of weight, and it's done so with settings it hopes will be firm enough to assure this Juke's urban status as the roundabout superstar. Their words, not ours. In other words, don't expect a cosseting ride over the speed humps. Get out on the open road and the 62 miles an hour sprint is dispatched in 10.1 seconds. That's 1.7 seconds quicker than the conventional 1-litre DIGT model. Let's get to the figures. This Juke hybrid manages combined cycle fuel consumption of up to 57.6 miles per gallon, 56.5 mpg further up the range, and CO2 emissions from 115 grams per kilometre. To give you some class perspective, a rival Toyota Yaris Cross hybrid, that can return around 60 miles per gallon. Even to achieve the real-world figure that we've just given for this Nissan, you need to make full use of this car's clever one-pedal brake regen technology. Insurance is Group 14E to 15E. If you know your Jukes, there's quite a lot to set this hybrid version apart. Not only hybrid badges on the front wings and the boot lid, but also gloss black trimming and smarter mesh for the partially blanked off front grille, which has an active radiator shutter. There are also extra aerodynamic components to smooth airflow around the front wheels, while if you scrabbled underneath, you'd also find a rear axle cover which reduces turbulence underneath the car. As with the conventional Juke model, Nissan has in recent times redesigned the rear spoiler, revised the bumpers, and also added different wheel options. The interior is a little different in this hybrid model too, with a revised instrument dial setup which shows the amount of power being supplied. The Binnacle's 7-inch digital screen also shows energy flow as you drive. Now the Juke unfortunately hasn't adopted the more sophisticated infotainment screen from Nissan's larger Qashqai and Ariya models, so the 8-inch central display here in this second generation version, the one it's always had, continues, and it is beginning to show its age. Still, it does include most of what you'd need, with navigation and Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, smartphone mirroring, and an upgraded Bose audio system can be added here too. As in the ordinary Juke, space in the rear seat is fairly cramped by class standards, but it will be fine for a couple of kids. Bear in mind that with this hybrid model, having to package the battery beneath the cargo area floor significantly reduces boot space from 422 litres with the standard 1-litre model to 354 litres with this hybrid. Nissan wants us to believe that this Juke hybrid gives you the advantages of EV motoring without the downsides. Doesn't quite work out like that, which is frustrating because using the e-power drivetrain from the larger Qashqai would have brought that grand objective a little closer to real-world reality. The slightly less sophisticated and more conventional 1.6 litre hybrid power plant that features here can't deliver e-power style efficiency, but it does at least have some extra features that other hybrids lack, notably the clever e-pedal brake regeneration system. This Juke is better to drive than most of its rivals too. We do wish the price premium over the ordinary 1 litre model wasn't quite so great, but if you can stretch to it and you want a stepping stone in this class to full EV motoring, then this could be it.